What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. In this video we are going to talk about if Mexico is still cheap, but more importantly, if it is still good value for your money. Because I recently saw a couple of people on YouTube talking about how Mexico is no longer cheap anymore. But before we go ahead and get into that, smash the like button, costs you nothing, means the world to me, really helps me out with the algorithm, and subscribe if you are interested in more content like this. Now, I am here with my boots on the ground in Guadalajara, Mexico. And as I was saying, I've seen a couple of videos, one in particular, talking about how Mexico is no longer affordable. And I gotta tell you, that couldn't be further from the truth. And here is the reason that they say that. So they say that because they aren't actually living here in Mexico. They're doing like that slow travel kind of thing where you're not actually a resident, which means you're likely on Airbnb or Booking.com or hotels or something like that. And so, yeah, your rent is going to be more expensive than it should be. Now, if you're here, living here long-term and getting a local long-term lease, then guess what? It's going to be extremely affordable. Probably a fifth to less than that. Or not a fifth. Probably like 50% less or even more than that if you are a local with a long-term lease. Then in addition to this, these people are staying in like the tourist areas, which nothing wrong with that, but everything in tourist areas, from street tacos to restaurants, are going to have inflated costs, probably even the groceries. And here is the kicker. So just because all of this is true doesn't necessarily mean Mexico is expensive. So especially if you're comparing a place like Guadalajara or Mexico City, big metropolitan cities with large populations, to, I don't know, bumfuck nowhere in Alabama. Of course it's going to be less expensive. You need to compare Guadalajara or Mexico City to other cities of its size and of its quality of life. And in that regard, it is still really, really good value for your money. Now, I will say, has Mexico gotten more expensive? Yes, it has gotten more expensive for various different reasons. The strength of the peso fluctuating determines how expensive it is. Inflation determines how expensive it is. The growth of the Mexican economy. And now we have super loud music. The Mexican economy getting stronger. The wages have gone up. And so, yes, things aren't as inexpensive as they used to be, but they're still really great value for your money, especially if you get out of some of these tourist areas and more like touristy cities. Like, yes, the cost of living in Mexico City, Guadalajara, even like Merida, Puerto Vallarta, and Mazatlan have gone up. But once again, they're still great value. But if you go to some of these other places that aren't as talked about for various different reasons, then yeah, you can get a lot for your money. And so I guess, long story short, you need to be careful of who you listen to on this topic, because if you're listening to slow travelers, yeah, they're getting inflated costs. So if you're planning on moving somewhere or getting a long-term lease somewhere, it is still extremely affordable. Especially if you go outside of like the tier 1 cities, although I recommend tier 1 cities. And a lot of the places that are talked about are probably the best place to live and still exceptional value for your money. But I think we're gonna wrap up this video here, and I will see you guys in the next video. If you have any comments, leave those down below, and I will see you soon. As always, peace, much love.